Okay, we have a quorum. We'll call the second meeting of July to order for the Town Board of Liberty Grove. The clerk, please note that all supervisors, with the exception of Cavazos, are present, and he has an excuse. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for coming. If you have cell phones, if you wouldn't mind turning them to vibrate or off, and a reminder to the board to speak into the microphones. Would you please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag? Thank you. All right, we need to approve the agenda, and three items are going to be struck. Number 8, and then number 9, A and B. All right, I'll make a motion to approve the agenda with those items struck. Is there a second? Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion is carried.
Why are we dropping them, John?
Pardon?
Why are you dropping them?
They didn't really make a decision on any of those on 9, and there are no committee assignments.
All right.
Okay, treasurer's report. Janet? Oh, I'm sorry, we go to the special board meeting of 7-9. Are there any additions or corrections to those? Seeing none, I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. And then we have the first board meeting of the month. Are there any additions or corrections to those?
Motion to approve.
I'll second. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Now we'll get to the treasurer's report. Janet?
Okay. In the municipal checking account, we began with a balance of $842,663.96. We transferred to checking and got a little interest, bringing that balance to $242,691.11. Money market account, we began with $577,712. After interest, that balance is now $577,798.10. In the checking account, we began with a balance of $46,841.71. After transfers and deposits, FICA, state, payroll, and disbursements, it brought that balance to $342,526.45. In the utility district fund, they have a balance of $565,754.40, with a balance in all town accounts at the end of June of $1,728,770.06.
Are there any questions?
Are you sure the 6 cents?
Pretty sure.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the treasurer's report as presented. Second, please.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion is carried. Next, the payment of bills. Are there any questions on those?
Move we pay them as listed.
I'm sorry?
I move we pay them as they're presented here.
I'll second.
Second. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion is carried. Quickly, before we get to public input, just a reminder that we are now putting out a digital newsletter. And if anybody's interested, we have a sign-up sheet in the office. I don't know if we still have copies left from last night on the table over there or not, but we're sending it out once a month around the 10th of the month. So. Okay, public input. This is an opportunity to address the board on any given subject and also on agendized subject. So are there any general comments anybody would like to make? Yes. Would you?
Hi, my name is Amy Sullivan. I'm an attorney at the Pinkert Law Firm. I'm here on behalf of my partner, John Pinkert, who could not be here tonight. He just wanted me to let you know that we we represent the applicants on agenda item number 11 regarding the Plan Commission recommendation for variances. If you have any questions regarding it, I'll do my best to answer them.
All right, thank you very much.
Thanks.
Any other general comments anybody has? If not, agendized items. Okay, then we'll move on to, oh, I'm sorry, Peter?
I'd like to speak to 13.
13, I'm sorry, Peter, yes. Anybody else?
Perhaps she'd like to sign for the variant, are we talking about the variance, aren't we, tonight? Sure.
What?
Perhaps she would like to have an opportunity to speak on 11 when it comes up.
Well, yeah,
It's
we assume that, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, going on then to number 10, the Parks and Property Committee recommendations. Gary?
Okay, we received on the Cedar Shore Road and the Ellison Bay Marina, we received 4 bids, one from the Michaels Foundation, one from Great Lakes Marine, one from Death Store Marine, and one from Ironworks. The bids varied from $478,000 to $106,000. The 2 highest bids were probably based on the fact that both of the bidders were out of area, so there would be transportation issues as well as time issues. The Parks and Property Committee decided to take and award the bid to Death Store Marine. The bid was $106,985. So, signage for cemeteries, we had received a request from one of the genealogists. I gotta be careful I don't use the GYN thing.
Can we stop here for a minute?
Yes,
We need to go
You
back
need
probably.
to have a
Motion
motion
on A.
to accept that
oh,
bid.
I'm sorry. Okay,
What's,
Go.
I think the bid was made, or the motion was made conditional on Steve Parent checking the numbers. We didn't, the bids were opened at the meeting and they hadn't been checked earlier.
correct.
So he did check those and left an email saying that there were a couple of small errors on the Great Lakes bid and the Ironworks bid, but it didn't affect the outcome, so he said we were okay recommending the Death Store Marine number.
Okay,
And I recall there was insurance was for 99,000 on that. So we have
correct.
8,000 to figure out, we're gonna
Right.
get that someplace.
correct.
Do you have a motion, Gary, or?
I would move that we accept the bid from Death Store Marine of $106,985. Now contingent upon the fact that Steve Parent will check as things progress in terms of the construction. Now, keep in mind that the work, as Hugh just pointed out, will be just for that south wall and the main walkway right at this point in time. So that's what that's for. So I make a motion that we accept the bid.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Second? Any discussion?
Just where's the other money coming from?
We have, I believe, that was explained at the meeting.
There's a 17,000 that's in the, parks, in the
Harbor reconstruction.
harbor reconstruction, that's been held over for a couple of years, actually.
Okay, so we have plenty.
It's covered.
17,834.89 exactly. Been left over.
Any other questions anybody has? All right, the motion is made and seconded to accept Death Store Marine bid. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion is carried.
Just a quickie, did Mike see when he'd get to this or not?
Well, they're not gonna do anything till late October.
Yeah, it's supposed to
Okay.
start in
Yeah.
October.
Okay, Gary.
All right, signage in cemeteries, it was brought to our attention that of the cemeteries that we have in Liberty Grove, 2 of them are without any signage at all identifying what they are or who they belong to. Trinity Lutheran has a sign on one of the stone pillars in the front. Little Sister has a sign that says it's Little Sister Cemetery. The cemetery, the other cemetery on Mink River Road has no signage whatsoever, and that's basically the Ellison Bay Cemetery. And there's also a cemetery on the corner of ZZ and Mink River Road that, from what Janet has said, was originally called the Raleigh's Bay Cemetery. So motion was made to take and put signage on the 2 cemeteries that do not have signage. The signage will be consistent with what is at Fitzgerald Park and Wills Park. And the signage will be wood and be completed. Right now, there is no money in the budget for this particular item, so this will be put on the budget for 2016. So I would recommend that the Parks and Property Committee recommended that the signage be put on the 2 cemeteries that don't have signage. So I would make a motion that the signage be completed when possible.
Is there a second? I'll second. Discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. The brush cleanup, Ellison Bay Community Center.
Okay. Bob Tidball, who's sitting there in the second row, and Keith Breidenhagen have been working on cleaning up the southeast portion of the property right by the Women's Club, which would be the area south of the tennis courts. That's been in the works for a couple of years now, and we're finally going to take a real hard look at it. We've gotten some information from the Ellison Bay Service Club that they're willing to assist in this. Again, right now, there's been a cost issue, and in talking to Christine Breidenhagen, she figured it'd be about $5,000 to have a crew come in, go through it with Keith, take out whatever needs to be taken out, chip it, leave the chips, and haul it away. So the recommendation is to put that $5,000 in the budget for 2016. The main concern right now, and Keith is going to take a look at this, is that the water coming down the Ellison Bay Hill drains through that corner and, believe it or not, underneath the Women's Center and out into the bay. So they're going to look at that whole drainage area to make sure that we don't do anything to disrupt that, otherwise it'll create quite an issue. So the recommendation from the Parks and Property Committee is to take and proceed with the cleanup of the brush at the Ellison Bay Women's Club with a budget not to exceed $5,000 contingent on plans for the water runoff. So I would recommend that that motion be accepted by the board.
I'll second. Discussion?
I don't know, I haven't looked at that obviously but typically, when you have a lot of trees like that, it tends to slow down the water coming off a drainage area like that and allows for the sediment to settle out. So I think we should take a good look at that
Yeah.
before we create a bloom on the beach.
Correct.
Any other discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried.
The next item, number D, is we had received a request from the Land Trust to place a memorial bench next to their kiosk at the top of the Grandview Hill. Now, our agreement with the Land Trust is that they can place 4 benches in that area. They've already placed one there, the one for Bruce Hanson. This bench will be the same design. It's to honor Phil and Marilyn Hansotia for the work they've done with the Land Trust. So the recommendation from the Parks and Property Committee is to allow the land trust to put a bench next to their kiosk at the top of the hill. And I would so move that.
Second.
Discussion, please.
You know, there's probably gonna be a lot of people through the ages that wanna donate a bench for some place like that. And if you made the benches, so they're not, didn't say Hugh Mulligan or something on them, so they were just a regular bench, and that maybe just a place to recognize people who have donated money to the land trust. You would have, 4 just real nice benches up there, and allow people to donate money towards the maintenance of the benches and the stuff like that. I think would be a step in the right direction, instead of just having 4 particular people laid out up there.
Okay. Any other discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
How are we
Go-
voting
go
on here,
ahead.
John?
Pardon?
We're just voting on just a bench, just
On,
with
on
no
that particular
conditions?
bench,
On
yes.
that particular bench by the kiosk.
Yeah, as Gary pointed out, that in the agreement with the land trust,
Okay.
they can place 4.
Yeah, would you consider suggesting just having no name on it at this point?
We can certainly communicate
Yeah,
that.
we can communicate that to Terry Cooper, so.
Okay? Any other discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Little library.
Okay, we had a request from Ron Stroman to build and place a little library at the Gills Rock Park, up at Gills Rock. And he will stock the little library. And the only request that he had is that the town help him dig a hole to put the 4x4 in, that the little library's going on. So we can't regulate the library, but we can regulate, you know, if it's going into one of the parks. So the recommendation from the Parks and Property Committee is to allow him to build the little library and stock it, but also the request will be made that he maintains it and make sure that what's in that little library is consistent with what we think should be in it, or what, I mean, we're not gonna censor anything, but it's, if stuff starts getting all torn up and waterlogged and stuff like that, we'd like somebody to take and maintain that. So the recommendation from Parks and Property is to let him go ahead, build and install that. And I would so move that we send a letter allowing him to do that.
I'll second. Discussion?
Quite a few of them coming up around Door County, various places.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion is carried. Going on to number 11, the Plan Commission recommendation of a variance request at 1166 Garrett Bay Road.
Well, I
Nancy?
mean, Liberty Grove, we got
yes.
one, I know of.
This was a somewhat unique variance in that it was 3 variance requests in one application, which generally are very hard to get support for, because all 3 of the requests need to meet the criteria in order for the application to be successful. However, in this case, with a very well thought out and very complete application, the property owners have demonstrated on all 3 requests, or at least to the satisfaction of the Plan Commission, that hardship did indeed exist because of unique property limitations. It's a very small piece of property on a very steep slope. And their request was not, there were really minimal or no harm to the public interest, in that the addition that's being proposed is on top of an existing structure. There's no expansion of the footprint, no expansion any further on the property to any of the setbacks, either from the ordinary high water mark or from the side yard lot line. So the Plan Commission recommends, and I would make a motion to the effect that the town board authorize a letter of support be sent to the Door County Board of Adjustment, supporting the request by Jeffrey R. Hooperts and Roanne Mizell at 1166 Garrett Bay Road for variance from 3A.04 sub 1, building setback 75 feet from the ordinary high water mark, and from 3.02 sub 3 sub A, building setback of 20 feet from a side lot line of a principal structure, and 3.05 sub 3, that all structures set back 65 feet from the center line of the right-of-way.
I'll second. Discussion?
I'm waiting for the map to load here. How far will it be from the high water? I guess I,
It currently is, I'm not sure exactly, maybe our attorney has the exact figure on that, but the addition will not even go as far out as the existing building, or the deck beneath it.
this is a slow load, but those are cantilever decks, as I recall. And how about the side yards? They're from 20 feet down.
Nothing will encroach any further than is already there.
Any other questions?
I think-
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Going on to number 12, Board of Review. Consider a resolution setting the time for the Board of Review, and this is Resolution 15-2. And it reads, "The Liberty Grove Town Board hereby designates the first session of the 2015 Board of Review at which objections from property owners are to be heard is to begin at 1 PM on August 19th, 2015. I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 15-2. Is there a
I'll second that.
Second? Any discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And then we consider resolution appointing Walter Combs to the Board of Review. And this is Resolution 15-3. And it reads, "The Liberty Grove Town Board pursuant to statutes 70.46, parent 1M, parent B, hereby appoints Administrator Combs to the 2015 Board of Review. I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 15-3.
Second.
Second, discussion?
Has a background check been taken on this individual?
Yep.
Okay.
Thorough background check, I might add.
Pending.
Was there a sample taken?
Right. I told you this would be the one. Okay, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. And then the last ordinance, appointing alternatives for the Board of Review, and this would be ordinance 15-3. Here we go. Whereas the 1997 Wisconsin Act 237 has amended the procedure for the Board of Review commencing in the year 2000, and whereas one of the changes to Section 70.47 of Wisconsin statutes authorizes the removal of board review members for individual cases under specific circumstances, and whereas Section 7047, parent 6M, parent C authorizes the appointment of alternative members to serve on the Board of Review when standing members are removed from individual cases. Now therefore, the Town Board of Liberty, the Town of Liberty Grove, Door County, Wisconsin does ordain as follows. 1, adoption pursuant to Section 7047, 6M, parent C, and Section 7046, parent 1 of Wisconsin statutes, the Town Board hereby provides for the appointment of alternatives to serve on the Board of Review in the event a standing board member of the Board of Review is removed or unable to serve for any reason. 2, appointments. The following electors of the Town of Liberty Grove are hereby named as alternates, in the order indicated to serve as alternate Board of Review members. Alternate 1, Janet Johnson. Alternate 2, Peter Sauer. 3, the effective date. The appointments made in this ordinance are for the year 2015 Board of Review proceedings are effective upon posting as provided by law. I move adoption of ordinance 15-3.
Second.
Second. Discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Okay. Launch pass. Oh, I'm jumping ahead, sorry. 13, action regarding junk pile on the northeast corner of Highway 42 and Old Stage Road. Mr. Combs?
I did send an email to, actually a letter to Audrey Larson, the owner of record of the parcel. I didn't have Mitch's phone number or email. He did send back an email saying that it's taken him 3 years to get his contractor to clean up or get the building out of there and some stuff. And he has promised Mitch, and who has promised us, that the rest of it will be removed by August 31st. So that's what we're operating under right now.
Gary?
As an aside, the metal is still sitting in that yard across from the Door County Highway Department, that field that somebody cleaned. Somebody cleaned out that field, and there's a whole bunch of metal pieces stacked next to that, to the telephone pole, a horse trough and a bunch of other miscellaneous metal. So,
On Highway 57?
on 57, yeah.
That'd be in the
57
village.
and where?
That's
Right across from the state, the county highway department.
That's the
That's
village.
Or that,
probably in the village.
That would be the village then?
Yeah, I think it's probably within their village limits.
Oh, never mind.
Should we write the village a letter?
Yes. No,
Yeah.
have Michael write them a letter.
Yeah, right. Okay. All right, then going on to number 14, launch pass applications. Janet?
We have none.
We have none. Operator licenses.
We have some.
We have some, okay?
These are all renewals. One is, and all of them work at Wagon Trail. One is for Terry Chapman. Well, maybe there's just two. And the other is Elizabeth, I'm gonna spell this. ZMUDZINSKI. Yeah, they're just two. They paid their fees, they passed their tests.
Motion to approve the operator licenses.
Second. Discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried.
Who's rolling over in their grave?
Correspondence.
We have a lot tonight.
You're in your glory.
No, just kidding. We have the Door County Tourism Zone audit here, several pages of materials, and there was a meeting scheduled for Thursday, July 16th, tomorrow at 9 a.m. at the Birchinger Center in Egg Harbor. We received our quarterly payment of highway aids for $55,875.75. Notice of the RPC meeting tomorrow for Schwartz and Camp Zion. And the paperwork for the application of the, by the RPC for the zoning and mapping, actual mapping changes up at Town Line Drive and Highway 42. Pending application for dredging and pier at 1208 Garrett Bay Road by Zabler of Clarendon Hills, Illinois. And that's it.
Okay. Kathy, has any decision been made on a representative for the tourism from Door County North?
I'm not aware we were making a decision.
Oh, because I had talked to Mary Mead about it, if somebody from your organization would consider being the town's representative.
I wonder what happened to that discussion. Okay, so you talked to Mary?
Mm-hmm,
I'll get right on it.
okay, thank you. Your name happened to be mentioned, that's why,
I heard that.
yeah,
We just had a meeting yesterday, sorry
Right.
about that.
okay,
She didn't forward me that.
okay. Okay, future meetings, please.
As mentioned, tomorrow is the RBC meeting at 3 o'clock. And the week of the 20th, looks like we have a week off. Nothing cooking until the 29th for the Plan Commission at 7 o'clock. Also, there's a voting machine demo at 10 o'clock up at the Government Center, I would assume. They're looking at replacing the voting machines. The two that we've got now could be replaced with one. They're going to demonstrate how this might work. They've got a couple of different machines, possibilities they're looking at where they and we are not sure which way they're going to go. The
Just wanted the
25th.
card? You
Pardon?
just have the card to put into it, or don't you know?
I don't know, the one machine is gonna be for that, what we're doing now, and the handicapped, so we're not sure how that's gonna work. We're kind of worried that it's gonna hold things up with someone using the handicap portion, but hopefully the demo will take care of that. Skip the 25th, Saturday, we have open book here with our assessor from 11 a.m. to 1 o'clock. And looking ahead, Highway Committee on August 3rd at 8 a.m., at which time the clear zone for the Beach Road project will be determined. Did not do that this week because all the members of the committee could not be here for that meeting. And the survey was not completed, which it is now on the tables behind us here, of the Beach Road showing where the road lays within the right-of-way. August 4th, 8 a.m., Parks and Property. Sister Bay Utilities is trying to get a meeting together for 2 o'clock on the 4th. They're having trouble getting a quorum. There was a meeting yesterday that could not be held because there was not a quorum present. On the 5th, board at 7 o'clock, and the 4th and the 5th is the SAGBRA event here, camping at Fitzgerald Park, the ball field, and a bunch of people in the Women's Club building who don't feel comfortable camping outside.
Too many coyotes.
Pardon?
Too many coyotes.
Well, yeah. And that's pretty much it. The 12th of August is the Plan Commission, and the board review is on the 19th, same day as the town board at 7.
Okay, before I make a motion to adjourn, I will share rule number 281 with you. It comes from Barbara Kings Oliver, who is a writer. Quote, "Quit smoking and observe the posted speed limits. This will improve your odds of getting old enough to be wise." I move we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.